I decided to make a video. It is 8:07 at night. It is May 23rd, 2016. So yeah, make a video for BookTube. I basically was going to first talk about my diary. Today I ended on page 443 in my May 2016 diary. I got this out, and then I started my June diary, put it in my folders. First I had to know what color I wanted for June. I try to keep not the same colors every month, and so I had to get out. These are all the stuff I copied off the internet in May that goes into where I store my 2016 diaries. That all goes end of May. So I had to go down and get my diaries out to find out the 2016 diaries, to find out what color June's going to be. And these are my diaries thus far. Here you have January 2016, which is red. And then we have February, which is purple. And this is the stuff I copied off in February. That's when I was really into David Foster Wallace in February. So I copied a lot of stuff on David Foster Wallace and Infinite Jest back then in February. And then we have March, which is orange, 2016. And then April, green. Green's my favorite color. When the first day of April, I was on page 277. And then we have May, April, May. May is the month when I got married 37 years ago. On the first day of May, I was on page 370. So May was blue, and so June is yellow. The 20th of June, we go into the summer season. Spring is over and halfway through the year. So that's my diaries for 2016 thus far. So I can put those back downstairs now that I know what color June's supposed to be. I like to have not the same colors. Try to break them up. Also, I picked up the Rolling Stones for my diary for May. Prince is on the cover. I tried it throughout the year. I collect magazines, like I collect things like I showed you, stuff I copy off. I keep all my receipts from thrift stores here in the pocket. And I keep emails that are important. I don't get much emails anymore except notices from Amazon that they're sending me something, or some CD I've ordered from some record company. But I wanted the Prince cover of Rolling Stones. I used to collect Spin magazine. I used to collect Rolling Stones. There was a heavy metal magazine I collected for a while. I still collect once in a while a Times magazine or a New Republic or an Atlantic. Stuff like that, articles from the New York Times or the Wall Street Journal. But I wanted this for my 2016 diary, Prince on the cover of Rolling Stones. As far as what I've been reading today, I don't know. I woke up this morning and I started reading still St. John of the Cross, The Dark Knight. Start reading that. Still reading that in the mornings. I haven't got into my Romans commentary or my new book on the biblical theology of the Epistle to the Hebrews by Peter O'Brien. I just feel like being in The Dark Knight. I try to read The Dark Knight at least once a year. Sometimes I'll read the whole collected works of St. John of the Cross, but I usually find comfort in reading The Dark Knight by St. John of the Cross. When I was reading him this morning, I came across something. I was in book 1, chapter 14, where he explains the stanza, "My house being now stilled." And he says, he mentions the illuminative way. You have the way of purgation, and then you have the illuminative way. And that reminded me of what I was last reading in the Carthusian Spirituality when I was reading Hugh Obama's treatise called The Roads to Zion Morn, which is one of my favorite spiritual writings by Hugh Obama, who was a 13th century contemplative Carthusian monk. And he wrote, I try to read this too every year, The Roads to Zion Morn, which is a treatise on contemplation, the contemplative life. And the last place I stopped was on the illuminative way, concerning the illuminative way. So I was reading that this afternoon. Also, I've been reading since Saturday. I was talking to somebody at the Book Nook who volunteers there, and they mentioned the Cistercian monk who lives today. As far as I know, he's still alive today. His name is Father Thomas Keening. He is an advocate of centering prayer, which is a practice of prayer that leads up into contemplation. So I got this book out Saturday to read it. I've been reading that along with The Dark Night, Open Mind, Open Heart, The Contemplative Dimension of the Gospel by Thomas Keening. When we lived in Houston back in the 80s, when I was doing my internship in a Presbyterian church there, I went to a 2-day seminar with Thomas Keating on centering prayer and the contemplative life. It has a really good chapter here on the history of contemplative prayer and the Christian tradition. It's a good book. I've read this. I've just been reading it to refresh my mind on centering prayer. So yeah, and I got this book out. I mentioned wandering and walking and going on a journey and going on a pilgrimage. Well, a long time ago, when the kids were like in middle school, they gave me this book for my birthday or for Christmas. My children, The Age of Pilgrimage, The Medieval Journey to God by Jonathan Sumption. I got that book out, and I was looking at this the last couple of days, The Age of Pilgrimage, Medieval Journey to God by Jonathan Sumption. So yeah, in the afternoons, I've been still reading the novel, a biography by Michael Schmidt. Today I start reading the chapter where it discusses the Gothic novel, the origins, the beginning of the Gothic novel. So it mentions Horace Walpole and his famous book, I've seen at the Castle of Otranto, later subtitled A Gothic Story. So yeah, this chapter is chapter 11, called The Eerie. I'm on page 162 of this big book. I'm really enjoying, like I said, I think if you're really into books and you're into novels and you're reading, it's good to know the history of the novel. The novel just didn't, it has a history going back until probably the 17th and 18th century. Probably the modern novel is 19th century, like Madame Bouvier by Flaubert. So yeah, so that's where I'm reading. That's where I'm at in my diary. I got books coming in the mail. I got a biography of William Blake coming in the mail. I got a biography of the poet Ed Dorn coming in the mail, and I got all kinds of stuff in the mail. But besides that, not much else going on. The days here by Lake Michigan have been warm, spring-like days. I planted my wildflower seeds in the backyard I think it was Sunday afternoon. So hopefully by June, July, or August, we'll have a field of wildflowers. Maybe I'll take a video of it and you can see it on BookTube. So that's what's going on here in my book world, and so I'll close until the next time. Bye.